Most people find the sound of nails scratching wood disturbing. I'm asking you directly, why do you find this sound disturbing? The answer is a journey that goes back thousands of years. Let's go on this journey together. It's a subject that's been around for many years, and one study on it even won the Nobel Prize. Blake and colleagues, who won the Nobel Prize in Acoustics in 2006, said, "We asked a very simple question. What is the nature of the acoustic signal associated with scraping your fingernails on a chalkboard, which is almost universally revolting?" Blake and his colleagues recorded the sound of a three-pronged garden tool scraping on a chalkboard, and then analyzed the various frequencies present in the sound. Based on the theory that the high-pitched components of the sound produce the creepy quality, they produced several versions of the sound, with the high, middle, and low frequencies missing. They then played these sounds to volunteers who rated how much they disliked each one. Surprisingly, removing the high frequencies did not reduce the repulsive qualities of the sound, but removing the mid-frequencies did. Fascinated by this finding, Blake began to study the sound waves associated with other vocalizations, including primate warning calls. Surprisingly, this sound was quite similar to the screams of a species of chimpanzee. Frequencies also matched. These are likely to be some kind of instinct left over from our ancestors who lived thousands of years ago. It is normal for the growl of a tiger or the cry of rage of a predatory chimpanzee to fill us with fear and disgust. But the sound we make when we scratch the blackboard with our fingernails is at the frequency of such sounds. Therefore, our brains associate the sound we hear with these emotions. Years after this research, another study published in the Journal of Neuroscience in 2012 revealed what happens in the brain when people hear screeching sounds. The findings show that the sound of fingernails triggers an increase in communication between a region of the brain involved in hearing and another involved in emotions. The 13 participants in the study listened to 74 sounds, including fingernails on a chalkboard and the whirring of power tools, and rated them on their pleasantness. The researchers used functional magnetic resonance imaging to study how the participants' brains responded to the sounds. They found that when participants heard an unpleasant sound, there was an interaction between the auditory cortex, which processes sound, and the amygdala, which processes negative emotions. Sukhbinder Kumar, a research fellow at Newcastle University, told Live Science in 2012. "It seems that something very primitive is coming into play. It's a potential danger signal from the amygdala to the auditory cortex." The researchers also said that the more disturbing the sound, the greater the activity between these two brain regions. Frequencies between 2000 and 5000 Hz were found to be irritating, roughly the same frequencies found in the 2006 study. "This is the frequency range to which our ears are most sensitive," Kumar said. "The reason for this sensitivity is not fully understood, but this range includes screaming sounds, which humans find inherently unpleasant." In another study, they played with the intonation of the sound of scratching a chalkboard with a fingernail and divided the subjects into two groups, telling the first group that the sound was coming from a contemporary musical instrument and the second group the truth, that the sound was coming from a chalkboard. In this way, they wanted to examine whether there was a psychological reason why people found the sound disturbing. As a result of the investigation, it was found that both sides were disturbed by the sound. To put it briefly, our sensitivity to sounds in a certain frequency range and a gene inherited from our ancestors help us to find this sound disturbing.